because England, for, what was it, 80-plus years, you can pull up the history, ran Iran. They had conquered it. They'd also conquered Pakistan and tried to conquer Afghanistan in a similar time period. They've been unsuccessful in Afghanistan, successful in Pakistan. And that was a bridge into the Middle East and their control of India. Everybody knows the British Empire ran India until the 50s with Mahatma Gandhi and his nonviolent revolution, which we're calling for. But really it's a restoration here. We're trying to go back to what we had. Gandhi was trying to get freedom. They never had it. We're trying to go back to the freedom. So we're restorationists, but it's similar. We're not revolutionaries, be clear. We're restorationists. We are legitimate. That's very important. We have the moral high ground. We have the historical high ground. And so Anglo-American Oil, now basically BP, they split it up. Dutch Rothschild's partners. They were making 100% of the profits in Iran. And Mohammad Mossadegh, who was secular, a Westerner, trained in England, pro-West, Time Magazine Man of the Year, in 1951-52, he said, look, we just want to keep 25% of the oil money. I want to build some schools. I want to industrialize our nation. Modern mathematics and astronomy was invented, of course, in Persia. The very first world, folks, except for some of the minority groups in some of the areas. But the point is, it's as advanced as you get. I mean, the people have, per capita, some of the highest IQs, similar to Japanese and Northern Europeans. The point is, they're very smart people there. People we should be working with. And the West said, oh my gosh, this guy's wearing a suit and tie? This guy wants to build universities? And they hired hardcore Muslim extremists. And they went in and staged terror attacks and blamed it on Mohammad Mossadegh and sicked the Muslim extremists. Then they doubled back on them, brought the Shah in. They killed 300,000 plus people, torturing them to death. And in 79, there was about to be a revolution against the Shah, and the evidence is clear. The CIA flew in out of Paris, the Ayatollah Khomeini. Then they did the arms for hostages deals. Then the Ayatollah doubled back on them in 1982 and made a break with the deal he'd made with the CIA, and that made him even madder. That made him even madder. And so it's on record, he's CIA. But the Muslims, the Shiites, doubled back and triple-crossed them, so that was even more rage. You're not going to industrialize. You're not going to let your people, no. And so they went in. Donald Rumsfeld said, we've got $40 billion cash and weapons and CIA satellite system advisors. We've got the nerve gas. Hit them and hit them hard. Invade Iran. And Saddam Hussein went in hardcore. And so the globalists hate the Iranian people. They want to have a regime in that vaccinates them with cancer viruses, that puts fluoride in their water, just like they hate us. They hate anybody who's strong, anybody who's smart. They hate the Serbs. They hate anybody who's independent and smart. And they hunt them down, they take them over, and they poison their water, and they abort their children, and they hire police with black ski masks, and they roll in our blood and orgy in our pain, and they just froth around with enjoyment. Anyone who isn't collectivist, anyone who isn't a control freak must be brought down. After they attack Iran, they're going to continue their encirclement of Russia and China. And they're going to continue attacking the American people with their police state. And they got a lot of other targets. They may double back on Libya, areas of Yemen, Sudan. One life, ladies and gentlemen. Stand up. Be on the side of right. It's your one chance in history to be part of something good, something pure, something right. Herb in Ohio, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Alex, thank you. I think you're a great patriot and appreciate all you do. One thing I want to tell you, I travel a lot. I hand out about 10,000 videos a year. And I was on a plane on my way to Florida, and I'm sitting next to a guy, and I said, hey, you want a video? He said, sure, what's it about? I said, about the New World Order. And he says, oh, that sounds interesting. So I gave him a couple videos. I turned to the guy on my left. I says, you want a video? He says, well, is that one of those Alex Jones things? I said, yeah. He says, oh, I know all about him. We've been warned about him. And I said, what do you mean? And He says, well, he tells me he's a minister or pastor, and he's already been warned about you.
Yeah, they have clergy response teams. Last time we got government numbers 2 years ago, it was 50,000+ strong who are under secret FEMA contracts in a subgroup of InfraGard. That's declassified. This is not a joke. And they brainwash law enforcement, pastors. We've confirmed this, no exaggeration, over 100 times, that one of the top training things is now to say Alex Jones is evil. Don't listen to him. Because I know history, I tell the truth, and I devastate the enemy.
And I said to him, I said, you're a pastor? And I said, and you're not warning people about this? And he says, well, we have already been, he says, it's been explained to us. We've been to the seminars and so on. And I told him, I said, well, you're just a traitor. How dare you call yourself a Christian pastor? I says, you're working for the enslavement of mankind. And I kind of went off on this guy on the plane. And I ended up telling the guy he was a traitor. He was a traitor to his country. He was a traitor to his God. And I ended up about probably 25 to 30 people after I had this kind of a big flare-up came to me during the flight and asked me, if I had any videos that they could look at because they wanted to know what it was all about. So, I mean, it was turned into what could have been, kind of an intimidation where the guy said, oh, yeah, we've been...
Well, you did a great job, but you should have said, oh, let me guess, you're part of the clergy response team.
Well, that's what I did. I actually said that to him. I says, oh, so you're working for FEMA. And he says, I wouldn't say I'm working for them. And he says, I says, well, you're part of, that's what I told him. I said, so then you're involved with the clergy response team. So you're working for FEMA. Whether you're getting a paycheck directly from them or not right now, I said, you're working for them. And that was I went off on this guy for about 5 or 10 minutes, and that's eventually why a lot of people came over. They wanted to know what it was all about. But as I say,
What was he saying by the end?
Well, he was saying, oh, how dare you call me a traitor? I'm a pastor. I'm a Christian. Don't you tell me I'm a traitor to God. And I said, I don't know how else to call it if it's, call a spade a spade. I said, you're a traitor. And
well, think about how creepy it is that, and this is 2 years old, they went from 13,000 to 20,000+ to 50,000, so it was basically doubling every year. So I would guess now it may be 150,000, but we know it's 50,000. Secretly in meetings with FEMA, being told to tell their flocks to go to FEMA camps, turn their guns in, Alex Jones is bad. And this was all under Bush with the faith-based initiative. And now it's expanded under Obama. I mean, that's not freedom. That's secret police, East Germany, Creepville. And what does that tell you about? But again, they got the white supremacists, they got the liberal media, they got George Soros, they've got Southern Poverty Law Center, all coming after me from every angle. And only by the grace of God am I not in prison or still alive. I mean, they are really upset because my listeners are getting the videos out to everyone, and we launch a new weapon in the info war today and another weapon next Wednesday.